It is in early childhood that the seeds of future friendships and social skills are planted. The quality of these first interactions shapes the child's path towards becoming a social being. Hello, good day everyone. My name is Shreya and today we will be talking about how the socializations plays a crucial role in early childhood. So during childhood, usually it happens around 2 to 6 years old. Isang importanteng developmental task ng bata is yung pag-acquire ng preliminary training para maging ready sila makisali sa mga social groups or what they call the gangs in the late childhood, which usually happens around 6 to 12 years old. Kaya nga tawag din sa early childhood is a pre-gang age kasi dito pa lang nagsisimula na ang foundation ng social skills. So, habang tumatanda ang mga bata, nadadagdagan ang contacts nila with peers. Ibig sabihin, mas marami silang nakakasalamuha na ibang bata rather than mas marami silang nakakasalamuhang ibang bata. Imagine when they start going to preschool or daycare, mas malalas na yung mas madalas na yung chances na makipaglaro sila o makipag-usap sila sa mga kaedad nila. So this increasing exposure to peers help them build their socialization skills little by little. Every time they interact, it gives them more experience on how to communicate, share, or cooperate. But here's what important. It's not just about having many social contacts or frequent interactions. Yung quality ng contacts yung pinakamahalaga o yung mas mahalaga para sa mga bata. Ibig sabihin, hindi porket madalas silang naglalaro o nakikipag-usap, automatic na magiging better ang social skills nila. What matters more is how enjoyable or positive those interactions are. For example, mas valuable sa bata yung laro na masaya, cooperative at may bonding moments kesa sa frequent nga silang nakikita pero puno naman ng away ng alitan o ng misunderstanding rather. So kapag yung bata may positive experiences siya sa ibang bata, this influences their attitude towards future social interactions. So ibig sabihin, kahit occasional lang yung makikipaghalubilo nila as long as maganda yung interaction nila, mas nagiging open sila sa pakikipag-socialize as they grow older. So, mas nagiging favorable yung view nila sa pakikipag-usap at pakikipaglaro sa ibang bata. But then, on the other hand, kung negative naman or frustrating naman yung experiences nila, like palagi silang nabubuli or napapagtripan or like tinataboy, hindi welcome sa isang group, magiging hesitant sila, magiging cautious sila to do interactions in the near future. The important part here is that yung mga bata na mas gusto makipag-interact sa mga tao kaysa sa mga bagay, mas nade-develop yung social know-how nila. This means mas nagiging skilled sila sa pag-navigate ng social situations like knowing when to share or how to make friends. In return, dahil nga mas socially aware sila, they tend to become more popular or well-liked by their peers. Compare mo yan sa bata na walang ibang ginawa kundi atupagin yung gadget niya or yung toys niya. Magiging less yung interactions niya. It will result sa pagiging late niya sa social interactions. Ibig sabihin nun, mahuhuli yung bata in terms of building social skills niya. Kasi nga, nakafocus na siya sa gadget niya and sa toys niya. Hindi siya nakikipag-interact, hindi siya nakikipag-usap, nakikipag-halubilo sa ibang bata. Now, we have here what they call the pattern of early socialization. Sa early socialization or sa early childhood, ang socialization ay parang training ground para sa mga bata. Dito sila natututo kung paano mag-interact sa ibang tao through observing at pag-imitate sa mga actions ng mga tao sa paligid nila like parents, caregivers, and other kids. Usually, una nila natututunan yung basic interactions like smiling back, yung mga paganon-ganon ng kilay, kapag may kasalubong sila, paganon-ganon ng kilay, kasi they are mimicking the gestures of other people na nakikita nila sa paligid nila. As they grow older or as they grow, nagiging more complex na ang socialization nila. From simple copying, nagiging cooperative na sila. For example, sa paglalaro, they start to understand they start understanding na hindi lang sila dapat ang nasusunod. Kailangan nila makinig sa mga kaplaymate nila para hindi magkaroon ng conflict or ng arguments or ng misunderstanding. This pattern of socializations help them adjust in bigger social environment. Kagaya na lang ng school, mall, kung saan silang pwedeng mapadpad na bigger yung environment nila where they need to socialize. Sa social situations, yung bata usually, they shows egocentric behavior. Meaning, focus sila sa sarili nila at kung ano yung gusto nila. Parang meron silang mindset na, ayoko yan, dapat ako mauna, hindi dapat siya. Like, ako muna, ako palagi. Yun yung thinking ng mga bata. Kaya nga minsan, kapag mapansin nyo, if meron kayong mga pamangkin or like mga kapatid, pinsan na bata, pag sinabihan mo sila na, you share your toys with other people. Lagi silang, or like, hindi man sa palagi, pero may mga times na yung mga bata sumasagot lang sila na, no, this is mine. Kasi nga, they have this egocentric behavior. Kasi nga, bata pa sila. Nakafocus pa sila sa kung ano yung gusto nila, yung mga sarili nila. Ganun. Yung form na yun, yung binanggit ko kanina, is yun yung tinatawag nila early forms of behavior in social situations. Yung forms na yun, meron siyang tatlo. Yung parallel play, it is when a kid plays side by side pero hindi sila nag-i-interact, as in magkatabi sila pero hindi sila nag-uusap, hindi sila nagkakaroon ng interaction, as in wala, magkatabi lang sila minding their own business. It usually happens around 2 to 3 years old. So example merong dalawang bata nakaupo, they are both playing blocks pero magkatabi sila, they are both playing blocks pero hindi sila nag-uusap, hindi sila nagkakaroon ng interactions. It's also a good sign, or like hindi man as in good sign na hindi nila pinapansin yung mga taong sa paligid nila kasi nga it happens around 2 to 3 years old. So wala pa silang kamuwang-muwang. But then, kahit hindi sila naglalaro, at least, ang importante doon is nasasanay sila na may ibang tao sa paligid nila. Hindi sila magiging ignorante na kapag merong itabi sa kanila. Parang may mga bata na umiiyak pa, gano'n. Hindi sila magiging gano'n. Kumbaga, yun yung warm up stage nila para sa socialization. Next one is the associative play. Dito naman, the kids start to interact while playing. Pero, they are still minding their own businesses or their own individual activities. Ibig sabihin, they talk, they share toys, pero they are not working on the same goal. Imagine mo na lang na yung mga bata nasa play kitchen sila. Yung isa, nagluluto, yung isa, naghuhugas ng plato, yung isa naman naglilinis. Diba? Meron silang interactions, meron na silang conversation, pero meron na silang contact, pero hindi common yung goal nila. Yung goal ng isa, makapaglinis ng plato, o like malinis yung mga pinggan. Yung goal naman ng isa, makaluto para makakain. So, hindi sila nagkakatugma-tugma ng goal. But then, they're all the important part is that dito natututo yung mga bata how to communicate and share things. Kahit pa sabihin mo hindi pa sila totally working together, at least nagkaroon sila ng interaction. The last one is the cooperative play. Ito naman yung part na meron na silang common goal. Tapos sila sa first stage, tapos sila sa second stage. Nandito na sila sa final stage, which is yung part na meron na silang conversation, meron na rin silang bagay na pareha yung goal nila. So, for example, imagine mo may mga bata na gustong gumawa ng fort. So, ang ginawa na ng isa, naghanap siya ng pillow, yung isa naman naghanap siya ng blanket, yung isa naman nag-ayos siya ng upuan. They are working together to achieve a common goal. Yun yung cooperative play. The next one is the companions in early childhood. So, sa simula, ang usual na companions ng mga bata is yung family members nila. Yung parents nila, yung guardians nila, yun yung main source of social interactions para sa kanila. As they get older, yung friends nila naman, yung friends and playmates nila become more important. Ito yung first friendship nila na natuturo sa kanila or like um, first friendship nila that becomes important na dito sila natututo ng important life skills like sharing, cooperation, and conflict resolution. Madalas, they play with kids na kapareho nila ng interest or those who are physically nearby, mga kapitbahay, mga kaklase, yung mga nasa surroundings na lang. Yung companions in early childhood, meron siyang category. As the children grow and interact with more people, they start to categorize their companions. These categories help them understand different social rules and how to relate to each person or group. First companion nila is yung friends. These are the children's close peers or classmates or playmates. Madalas silang nakikipaglaro and usually they have shared the same interest. Are the companions na nakaka-relax ang bata. Hindi sila nag-aalala about rules or authority. So, they can fully enjoy playtime. So, through their interactions, they learn about sharing, cooperation, and sometimes how to handle conflict kapag may hindi na pagkakaintindihan. The next category is the adults. This category includes parents, teachers, or other authority figures. The role of adults is to guide, protect, and set rules for the child. Adults are crucial in early childhood because they provide the structures children needed while learning social norms and behavior. Sila na rin yung nagiging source of comfort and security kapag may unfamiliar or challenging situations na nai-encounter yung isang bata. Yung substitute companions naman, especially mga toys or like mga imaginary friends, very common naman siya sa early childhood. Contrary to some beliefs, hindi ito indication na merong problem sa bata. If they have an imaginary friend, it's actually a sign of creativity and imagination. So yung imaginary friend, they serve several purposes for children. They provide an outlet when kids can participate or practice their social interactions in a safe and controlled environment. Since they control the environment, since they control the imaginary friend, the children get to create conversations, role play, and even navigate pretend conflicts, helping them to develop their communication skills and problem solving activities. Substitute companions like pets or stuffed toys can also be a source of comfort for kids, especially during moments when they feel anxious or lonely. These companions act as a bridge, filling the gap when real life companions aren't around. So, in general, the substitute companion helps kids to deal with feelings of isolation and give them a way to channel their emotions. It's a healthy part of development as long as it doesn't interfere with the real social relationships. Next is the social and unsocial behavior patterns. When it becomes to when it comes to behavior, may dalawang categories na usually pinapakita ang bata. Yun yung social and unsocial behavior. The social behavior refers to a kid who are more sociable and comfortable around others or around other people. So these children tend to enjoy group play and love to interact with peers. They are naturally inclined na makipag-usap with other kids, join groups or activities. Um, they play cooperatively, meaning they actively engage in group tasks. Unsocial behavior naman, on the other hand, is more common in children who prefer to play alone and don't seek interactions with others. Minsan, they find more enjoyment in solo activities or independent play like drawing by themselves, doing puzzles. Normal lang ito to some extent, especially for kids who are more introvert and independent. But then, pero, importante na tandaan na yung unsocial behavior can become a concern kapag ang bata entirely avoids interactions with other people. Like, hindi talaga sila interested makipaglaro kahit pa merong chances na makipaglaro sila. Naghahanap talaga sila ng palusot or like ng excuse para hindi makapaglaro. This could be a sign of developmental delays or emotional issues that needs attention. Ang key dito is to balance. Hindi masama if a child enjoys solo play, but they should still have opportunities to develop social skills and confidence in interacting with each others. Now let's proceed to what they call the leader in early childhood. Some children naturally take on leadership roles during play or group activities. They are usually the ones who initiate games, suggest idea, and guide others who want to do. These leaders are often have higher confidence and better developed language skills, making it easier for them to communicate their ideas and organize others. So they may say things like, let's play hide and seek, and I'll count first. Or let's build a fort say using these pillows. So yung mga bata, comfortable sila sa pag-assign sa kanila, or they are comfortable taking charge and providing directions. Yung leadership at this age isn't necessarily about power or control. It's about having the confidence and creativity to guide group activities. Leaders also tend to have more social as their social they tend to be more sociable as their role requires a lot of interactions and ability to negotiate with their clients, especially if there are disagreement during plays. This early form of leadership helps children to learn responsibly, and it gives them a chance to build relationship through shared activities. So yung leadership skills they develop during childhood often continue to grow, shaping how these kids handle social roles in the near future. Our next topic will be sex role typing in early childhood. Sex role typing happens when children start to learn the social expectations for boys and girls. Minsan hindi natin napapansin, pero kahit sa simpleng activities or sa toys, natuturo na sa bata ang mga gender stereotypes. For example, kapag girls, they should only play dolls. They are learning that nurturing or caregiving is expected for them, or expected galing sa kanila, na yung mga babae kailangan mag-alaga or like maglinis, marang ganon. Kapag sa boys naman, they should play mga trucks, mga cars, mga they are picking up the idea that they should be involved in more activities or mga rough activities. Even in casual comments like, boys shouldn't cry, ganon. Or like, girls should be polite and gentle. Mga kalimitang naririnig natin sa mga stereotypes ng mga tao, ganon. Children learn what society expects based on their gender. Nakikita rin nila ito sa adults around them, like sa parents nila, sa older siblings, or even sa teachers. And these adults serves as role models for how boys and girls should act. So by the time a child is around 3 years old, there are studies that shows that they have already a basic understanding of certain stereotypes. Halimbawa, a 3-year-old may say, boys can't wear pinks, or girls can't be that loud. Hindi pwedeng maging maingay, kailangan demure lang, kailangan mahinhin lang. Nakukuha nila ito through observations, imitations, and reinforcement from their surroundings. The importance of learning these stereotypes early can shape a child's sense of self and what they think they're allowed to do based on their genders. It can also limit their behavior, aspirations, and even their emotional expectations as they grow older. Now, yung sexual typings, meron siyang agency. Maraming agency or sources or of influence that shapes how children learn about gender roles. Yung mga agency na yon, it helps them reinforce ideas of what is expected from boys or girls. The first one is sa family. Parents and other family members often unknowingly reinforce sexual stereotypes. For example, when they do buy different toys for girls and boys, like sa girls, kailangan dolls lang, mga pambabae masyado, like mga kikay kit, mga mga kitchen PlayStation, parang ganon. While sa boys naman, mga cars, mga trucks, yung mga robot-robot, mga swords, mga guns. So, children get the message na may mga bagay talaga na for only girls, tsaka may mga bagay talaga na para lang sa boys. Even in simple comments like, boys are tough, hindi sila umiiyak, boys shouldn't be crying. Or girls should help in the kitchen, girls should do the laundry, should do the dishes. It can shape a child's understanding of their role in society. Sa school naman, teachers and school activities also play a part in shaping gender roles. Minsan, even though unintentional, they might reinforce stereotypes by assigning different tasks or expectations based on gender. Halimbawa, kapag ang isang classroom activity, boys are chosen to handle more active tasks like carrying materials, magbuhat ng mga upuan, magbitbit ng ganito ganyan, while girls are expected to help with organizing and cleaning. Like, pag may instances na kailangan mag-general cleaning sa room, yung mga cleaners, yung mga boys na cleaners, sila yung naka-assign na magbuhat ng mga upuan, table, mag-isig ng ganito ganyan, while the girls naman is assigned for cleaning kasi nga, yun yung natatak sa isip ng mga bata. Although, unintentional siya na, ikaw maglinis ka, ganito ganyan. Hindi nila pinaparating na maglinis ka kasi babae ka. Pero, nangyayari, nagiging stereotype siya na kailangan yung mga babae maglilinis while men do the heavy work. Next is media. One of the biggest influences sa sexual typing is media, kagaya ng mga cartoons, movies, and TV shows. Character in these shows often follow traditional gender roles. For example, male characters are usually portrayed as strong, active, and brave, while female characters are often kind, gentle, and nurturing. Kids who watch these media forms often imitate what they see. It further shapes their understanding of gender roles. So, yung agency na to, they work together to create a consistent message about gender expectations. The more a child is exposed to these stereotypes, the stronger their belief becomes that the boy and girls should act in a certain way. It's important to be aware of these influences so that parents, teachers, and even media creators can help children explore more flexible gender that allow them to develop without limiting their potential. Next topic, we have the personality development in early childhood. We will be talking about conditioning shaping the self-concept. Ang self-concept ng bata o ang pagkakakilala nila sa sarili nila ay unti-unting nade-develop habang lumalaki sila. At isa sa malaking factor dito ang conditioning. Basically, ang mga bata ay natututo mula sa reactions ng mga tao sa paligid nila, especially sa parents, teachers, siblings, o yung mga taong nakapaligid sa kanila. Kung may positive feedback or reinforcement, like kapag pinupuri sila sa good behavior nila or achievement, nagiging foundation ito para sa isang positive self-concept. For example, kapag ang isang bata ay palaging sinasabihan ng good job or like, ang galing mo sa mga bagay na nagagawa nila, natututunan niyang tingnan yung sarili niya bilang capable at maging competent. So, this contributes to self-esteem, which is essential para mag-develop sila ng confidence sa kanilang abilities. On the other hand naman, kung ang bata ay palaging pinupuna or like pinapagalitan, minamaliit, nagkakaroon ng opposite effect. Instead of seeing themselves as good, they might develop a negative self-concept. Feeling nila like they are bad or not good enough. Kaya sa stage na ito, it is very important na mabigyan sila ng consistent positive reinforcement para mas maging healthy ang development ng kanilang self-esteem and self-concept. Kapag ang isang bata kasi, example kapag isang bata ay natutong mag-share ng toys, then pinuri ng parents na, wow, you're so kind for sharing. They will feel proud and recognize sharing as a positive trait. Pero kung pinagalitan sila agad without understanding what they didn't share, this could make them feel discouraged and unsure about their behavior. Next is the increase of individuality. As children grow, they begin to recognize na may mga unique qualities sila na nagsiset apart sa kanila from others. Dito pumapasok yung sense of individuality. They start forming their own preference and making simple choices on their own. Like kung anong toy ang gusto nilang laruin, or sino yung mga gusto nilang kalaro, at sino yung gusto nilang makasama. This increasing individuality plays a huge role in their personal exploration. As they explore their environment, they become more confident in expressing themselves. Halimbawa, a child may say, I like this toy more. I like this toy more than that. I like this toy more than that. I like this shirt more than that. I want to play with them. I like to play with Anna, not Ben. I like to play with Aaron, not Carlos. Ganon. These preferences show that they are becoming more aware of their dislike or likes and personal boundaries. So having a strong sense of individuality allows children to make decisions based on their personal interests, express creativity, especially in activities like drawing, playing, and storytelling. Explore their environment with curiosity and confidence dahil alam nila kung ano yung gusto nila and they are not afraid to try new things. For example, a child may decide na ang favorite color niya ay blue and kahit na sabihin ng iba na pink ang favorite color ng ibang bata, they will confidently stick with their preference. The color blue talaga yung gusto niya. It's a simple example, pero it shows how they're becoming more independent in how they view themselves compared to others. Next, we will be talking about the hazards. Kanina, doon sa previous video, if napanood niyo na yung videos ni Anray, ni Casey, and nila Princess Rohaina, meron sila nabanggit about these hazards. So, ito yung parang continuation or kadugtong hazard na yun. The first hazard is the social hazard. Isa sa malaking hazard na pwedeng maka-apekto sa bata ay ang rejection from peers. Kapag hindi sila tinanggap sa grupo ng mga kalaro, madalas ay bumababa ang kanilang at nagiging mahirap para sa kanila makipag-socialize sa future. Bullying kahit na minor can also create long-lasting effects on a child's self-esteem and self-worth. Halimbawa, kung palaging tinutukso ang bata dahil sa itsura or kakulangan niya sa skills, maaring magsimula silang mag-doubt sa sarili nila at mag-avoid na makihalubilo sa iba. Next is hazard in concept development. May mga pagkakataon din na ang wrong ideas or incomplete understanding can harm a child's cognitive development. Halimbawa, kapag laging sinasabi ng mga tao sa paligid ng bata na boys are better at math, ito'y nagkakaroon ng impact sa perception ng bata tungkol sa kakayahan ng mga babae at lalaki. Kung ang isang bata ay laging naririnig yung salitang yon, maaari nilang paniwalaan na ang mga babae hindi talaga magaling sa math, kahit hindi naman talaga yun yung totoo. At pwede yung makaapekto sa kanilang potential to excel in that area. Minsan, ang ganitong klaseng misconception ay nakakabawas ng self-confidence ng mga bata it's stopping them to explore more. Kasi nga, parang nawalan na sila ng gana kasi nga, iniisip nila na hindi naman talaga sila magaling sa math. Yung mga babae, hindi naman talaga magaling sa math. Which is not true kasi hindi naman lahat ng babae bobo sa math. Next hazard is the sex role typing. Ang strict gender rules ay isa ring hazard sa development ng bata. Kapag sinabihan sila ng mga phrases na hindi mo pwedeng gawin yan kasi pang babae or pang lalaki lang ang gumagawa niyan, it creates limitations in how they explore and express themselves. Halimbawa, kung gusto ng isang batang lalaki magluto, pero sinabihan siya ng pang girls lang yung pagluluto, maaring mawalan siya ng confidence or interest to pursue what he's genuinely interested in. This can lead to limited personal expressions at maging cause ng lower self-esteem dahil ang bata ay natututo na may mga bagay or na bawal or hindi bagay sa kanila based lang sa gender nila. Next is the family relationship hazard. Ang family dynamics ay malaki ring factor sa emotional well-being ng bata. Kung may constant conflict sa family, like more frequent fighting, neglect, or instability, nagkakaroon ng negative effects ito sa bata. Minsan, ang bata nagkakaroon ng anxious, withdrawn, or insecure dahil nararamdaman nilang unstable ang environment nila. Ang kawalan ng emotional support galing sa pamilya ay pwedeng magdulot ng long-term issues sa social relationship and emotional development ng isang bata. Lastly is the personality hazard. Ang over-punishment or lack of praise ay pwedeng mag-stunt sa personality development ng bata. Kapag ang bata ay palaging pinaparusahan pero hindi pinupuri kapag ang tama ang ginagawa niya or like may mga nagagawa siyang tama, natututo silang mag-focus lang sa kanilang mistakes. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy or worthlessness. Halimbawa, kung ang bata ay lagi na lang napapagalitan pero hindi napapansin yung kapag mayroon silang nagagawa na maganda or tapos nako-compare pa sila sa ibang bata, maaari nilang isipin na hindi sila sapat or hindi sila capable of achieving success. This affects how they see themselves, pati na ang confidence nila as they grow up. So that ends my report. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye!